All right, Dees, tonight we've got some other, some new information here about the September 11th attacks on America that led right here to Tampa Bay. The FBI has just released the records under the Freedom of Information Act, and they've got a rather bizarre incident in Manatee County that we're just now finding out about. Now, our Fox 13 political editor, Craig Patrick's been reviewing these records. So, Craig, 13 years now. Why do we know now that we didn't know?
Well, we've got information that the FBI kept secret for 13 years. This all goes back to an investigative news site in South Florida called the Broward Bulldog. It filed a FOIA lawsuit requesting more information about the September 11th investigation, and the FBI responded by releasing these documents to the Broward Bulldog that we've never seen before. Let's start with Halloween of 2001. Manatee County made a troubling discovery nearly 2 months after the World Trade Center attacks. A man who had a visa from Tunisia was throwing stuff into a dumpster behind a storage facility in Bradenton, Florida. The FBI records show the items discovered in the dumpster included a manual on terrorism and jihad, a map of the inside of an unnamed airport, a last will and testament, a weight to fuel ratio calculation for a Cessna aircraft, flight training information from a flight school in Venice, and printed maps of Publix shopping centers right here in Tampa Bay. And while this occurred years ago, it obviously raises some troubling questions like, why would someone have terrorist materials and maps of Publix shopping centers in Tampa? And why are we just now learning about this particular incident some 13 years later? A spokesman for Publix told me this afternoon the company is always concerned about the welfare of its associates and its customers, and that Publix is just now learning about this information as we are learning about it. Meanwhile, a spokesman for the Manatee County Sheriff's Office confirmed that this incident did in fact occur, but he could find no record of it in the Manatee County Sheriff's Office. Manatee County referred it to the FBI, and the FBI would not discuss it, citing ongoing litigation over the release of more records.
Wow. Now, if I remember this, I do remember the connection at the Venice airport. That's where some of the hijackers trained.
Yes.
Right? I think 3 out of the 19 hijackers trained right there in Venice. But this issue about Bradenton and Publix, and do you know anything about this man, whether he's still in the Tampa Bay area that you mentioned?
We do not. We do not know where he is. If it's a he, we don't have a name for that matter, because these records are heavily redacted, heavily censored by the FBI. And the same goes for other records just released that relate to this investigation after September 11th. For example, in February of 2002, that's nearly 5 months after these attacks, the Tampa FBI office received a message that a person of interest in the terrorist investigation had re-entered the country. But again, we don't know the name, don't know if that individual actually came to Tampa. Again, a lot of that information has been redacted. We do know that the government received thousands of leads, of course, after these attacks. We know the FBI pursued and investigated leads, but we do not know what happened next in these cases and others because the FBI will not talk about it. But you can read these newly released documents for yourself. We have a link to the Broward Bulldog report and the records released to the Broward Bulldog by the FBI. You'll find that on myfoxtampabay.com.
Well, that's a whole new chapter, isn't it? It's a whole new take on this.
And John, look, if you see the records, most of it is whited out. There's so much that we can't show you and so much yet to be released. And in fact, there is ongoing litigation. We'll see if more records are forthcoming.
All right, we'll watch it, Craig. Thank you very much. Yeah.